Hey everybody, before we start part 2, I wanted to provide a short recap of the project so far. I'm making a console table for a living room, made from a great looking walnut slab and steel tubing as the base. The overall length is about 6.5 feet long, and the shelves are between 9 and 10 inches deep. In part 1, we painted the base and prepared the slab before splitting it into shelves. There was also a great deal of sanding and also some prep for some epoxy pours that I will do in part 2. To kick it off, I am going to be cutting 2 maple bow ties using a simple jig that I saw on another woodworker's channel. Once you have the first angle cut, you can flip it over to run the second angle and meet in the middle. This is a 9-degree jig, and the bow tie is roughly 4 inches long. Next, I attempt to score the line for the bow tie perimeter, but somehow forget that double-sided tape exists. That's a note for future hold downs. Off camera, I added a bevel on the underside of the bow tie. After carefully plunging the spinning bit into the wood, I take out the bulk of the material slowly. I'm using an upcut router bit that pulls the waste away from the hole. Once the surface is cleaned off, I use a few chisels to cozy up to the score line. These are a great value, and I will be sure to leave them linked in the description below. And now time for glue and an attempt at spreading it as much as I can. And then some semi-forceful pounding. Making your own wood filler with shavings and glue is nothing new, but this definitely does the trick. For the minor surface knot holes, I wanted to fill these with some tabletop epoxy, so I mixed in some black onyx, black diamond pigment, both of which I'll link below. The next day, I used a small hand plane to take most of the material off of the bow ties. It worked surprisingly well once I had the blade sharpened enough. I used a medium bristle brush to give the bark underside and the live edge one last once over. And next was time to water pop the grain, finally. Sanding with 220 grit means that the project is finally almost over. I cleaned the work pieces with mineral spirits before applying Rubio Monocoat. It was my first time using the finish, and the result is unbelievable. It is definitely worth the price, but just be sure to use it sparingly. A little does really go a long way. Next, I power buffed it in and let it sit for 24 hours. One of the last steps is finally assembling the legs. And just like that, we are done. Even my little guy appreciates it. I'm super pleased with the way it came out. I'm very excited to have bow tie inlays and Rubio Monocoat in the arsenal now. That's going to do it for this build series. If you're looking for custom furniture, be sure to visit our website for a free quote. And don't forget to follow us on socials, and be sure to like and subscribe. Have a good one.